Hello viewers, welcome to our lecture series on marketing management. This is going to be part 8th of my lecture series on promotion mix, wherein we have been talking about how to develop an effective communication, and we have also been talking about what are the steps involved in developing effective communication. So having discussed the some of the steps previously, let me tell you about the further steps which are there. We had talked about the 8 steps which are very much essential, which are regarded as very much essential in developing effective communications. And if we look at the basics, there are certain steps which we all understand that yes, these are the prerequisites, like identifying the target audience or setting the communication objectives, or if we talk about designing the communications, selecting the communication channels, and of course establishing the total marketing communication budget, which are some of the crucial steps and which are regarded as one of the essential steps of developing any effective communication program. Whenever we talk about the communication mix of marketing, when a marketer is going for adopting these steps or taking these steps, they are actually regarded as a progression in the field of development of effective communication. So if you really wish that your communication need to be effective, because you can be efficient, you can be present everywhere, but what matters is the effectiveness of your message, whether your message could reach to the masses or not, and more importantly, whether the same message what you wanted to communicate, whether the same was communicated or not, because you wanted to communicate something else and the communication which took place was something else, then of course the entire purpose of developing the communication program gets defeated. So my dear learners, we have to understand that everybody is aware that we have to identify the target audience, we have to set the communication objective, we have to design the communication, but what matters is how to select the communication channel, but that is something which we have already discussed. And then we talk about establishing the total marketing communication budget. So out of 8 steps, we have already discussed the 3 initial steps, and now I am going to tell you about the remaining 5 steps. So starting with the 4th one, that is selecting the communication channels. Having said selection of communication channels, we have to decide that what would be our modus operandi of spreading this communication, how to dispense this information, how to disseminate this information, because selecting an efficient means to carry the message becomes more difficult as channels of communication become more fragmented and cluttered, because nowadays we don't have only one channel of communication available with us. That entire channels of communication become more and more cluttered, we can say, or more fragmented. So given this scenario, when we are having n number of platforms to communicate about our communication about our product, about our brand, about our pricing strategy, or whatever information we wish to communicate. So communication channels may be personal and non-personal, and we had already discussed about both the channels, their significance, because at times the personal channel becomes more significant, and there are certain situations where the non-personal also plays a very vital role, because that is the only channel by which or through which we can connect to the masses. Because once you spread the information about your product in the masses, then comes the role of personal channels, where there is a trickle down or trickle up impact, and we can ensure that we can find out those who are influential, or those who are having those who are regarded as opinion leaders. So to them we can communicate, and eventually they can percolate down our message. So that is called trickle down impact. Or at times we find that it is upside down, that the influencers or the influential people or opinion leaders, they are at the bottom, and from there the information spreads up. So that can be a modus operandi of selecting communication channels, that yes, you should be present at both the level, that is personal as well as non-personal. Now when we talk about the number of channels available with us for communication, what matters the most is integration of those communication channels, and that is why it is regarded as the 5th step in making our communication more and more effective. So how to go for integrating this communication channel, that also becomes a very important task for a marketer, Because nowadays when marketers, they are designing and developing their promotion mix, they have many things in their mind at one point of time. Because we all understand that the personal communication is often regarded as more effective than mass communication, because mass media might be the major means of stimulating it. Of course, we can't ignore the significance and relevance of mass media, but what matters the most is the personal communication, because mass communications affect personal attitudes and behavior through a two-step process. We call it a two-way process, two-step process. So ideas often, if we look at the flow of ideas or the flow of communication, they often flow from radio, television or print media to opinion leaders. And what I told you as opinion leaders, or the influential people, or you can say consumers who are highly engaged with the media, because they are the one who are at the receiver's end. If you look at the Rosers model of diffusion of innovation, you would find that 2.5% of the total mass is regarded as innovators, and remaining 13.5% are regarded as the early adopters. So if you club them together, you find the 16% of total population. So if we have to believe the Rosers innovation diffusion model, we can say that all the advertisements are initially targeted to those 16% of the people, because they are the one who are supposed to be the opinion leaders or the torch bearers. So whenever the idea or information flow from radio, television or print to opinion leaders or consumers who are actually or highly engaged with the media, they are actually the one who are percolating down the message. So from these influencers to less media involved population groups, the information flows. So we can say that yes, whatever information I had floated in the through mass media, that has played its own role. But after a certain extent, that is after covering the 16% of initial population who is ready to accept that innovation or that idea, if we consider that innovativeness or prompt behavior of those people who are there to adopt the new things, if we consider them to be the receivers of the advertisement, then they are the one who are floating this information to remaining 84% of the population. So imagine the power of personal communication, that 84% of job is to be performed by the personal channel, that is person to person, and they are regarded as opinion leaders because they help others in accepting, adopting and understanding the whereabout of the brand, what exactly it does, what are the roles of this particular brand, what is the experience, post purchase experience, what is after sale services. So all those points are well elaborated by this channel. So we can say that both are to be integrated. We should not consider them to be a competitive one. They are not competitive in nature, they are basically complementary to each other. So we should try to understand their complementarity and integrate both the communication channels if we really wish that our communication need to be effective one. So this two-step flow or two-way flow has several implications. You can call it two-step flow because there are two steps initially for the mass media, that is the mass channel, and then eventually you go for personal channel. So from non-personal to personal. So first, the influence of mass media on public opinion is not as direct, powerful and automatic as marketers have supposed. So because marketers have been thinking that these informations are going to flow in an automatic manner, or in a way we want that it is going in a very obvious manner. No, the influence of mass media on public opinion is not that direct, powerful and automatic as marketers are believing. It is actually mediating, there is a mediation role by the opinion leaders, because they are the one who are mediating between the mass media channel and the customers, because these opinion leaders, they are actually mediating, they have a role of mediator. And they are also called as media mavens, people who track new ideas and their opinions others seek, or who actually carry their opinion to others. So they are basically called as media mavens, and people look at them, that what is their say on that. what is their opinion about this specific advertisement, because at times people start reading the advertisement reviews. You must have found the reviews of movies also available in some of the leading newspapers. Some people, before watching the movie, they want to know what is there inside that movie, and whether whatever I want, I am expecting from that movie, whether that is there in it or not. So you must have observed that many people still they resort to those comments on movies in the print newspapers, or even those newspapers are online. Before proceeding for buying a ticket for that movie, people do read those comments. Likewise, for forming an opinion, still people look at the opinion leaders, what is their opinion about this specific brand or their communication. So here comes the role of media mavens, and they are always having a regional or local relevance, because in whichever country or whichever zone you are targeting or floating your communication, so the media maven is supposed to be different. So those mavens or opinion leaders, they are the one who are going to speak about the brand, about your product or the communication which you have floated. So the second step is the two-step flow challenges the notion that consumption styles are primarily influenced by a trickle down or trickle up effect from mass media, because the two-step flow actually challenges this notion, because we all know that the consumption style is going to be determined by or influenced by a trickle down or trickle up effect of the mass media. People interact primarily within their own social groups, and they try to get the ideas from others in their groups. So first of all, I'll talk to those who are actually known to me. I will try to understand from my own acquaintances that what is going on. What is your opinion about this specific product? Because it is very difficult to rely on the statements given by those people to whom I hardly know, because that can be sponsored also, that those reviews, those statements can be sponsored also. So people actually interact primarily within their own social groups, and they try to get ideas from others in their groups, and then eventually they go for the second step. So mass communicators should, what they should do, the question here is what is to be done. So mass communicators, they should direct messages specifically to opinion leaders and all those people who are engaged with media if possible, and let them carry the message to others. So this is the first and the foremost role to be played by the mass communicators, that whenever you are floating an advertisement, try to float that information at least among those opinion leaders and to whom you call as market mavens. So let them understand that yes, what this is the information floating in the market, this is a new advertisement, this is about a new brand or the product having some message or whatever information your product wants to convey, that need to be conveyed to them, because they are the one who are going to help customers in forming their opinions. So we should not suspect all opinion leaders that yes, they are going to be sponsored one or they are going to be the biased one, because not everyone is going to be biased, not everyone is going to become or expect something from the marketer. And if they are expecting, then of course that need to be based on the factual presentations or factual support. And here comes the role of affiliate marketing, which I have been reminding you from at different forums, that yes, the affiliate marketing, affiliates, they can be there. They do play a role of opinion leaders at times, and they try to give a projection to the brand with regard to their credibility, consistency, its performance, its features, price, and whatever information customer wants to know, and that is in relation to the information which marketer is floating. So my dear learners, in this way we have to understand that after deciding everything with regard to the target market, the message, what will be the channel, we have to integrate all the channels which we are resorting to. So the personal and non-personal, both the channels need to be integrated. Gone are the days when we used to say that yes, they are going to work in isolation, because they were never into isolation, they both work together and both are significant, we can't discount their value. Now moving ahead, the next step, which is regarded as the sixth step, is the most significant one, because it is going to cause some cost to a marketer. This is the point where marketer wants to be very conservative, because it is going to be a cost involving exercise. We have to establish the total marketing communications budget. And mind me, my dear learners, all the marketers, they want this budget to be the minimum one. They don't want to be overspent, to be called as an overspent company, or they don't want that their ad campaign should involve huge amount of cost. But the irony is that when you are going for mass communication, your that communication will definitely involve some amount of cost, which is going to be significant. So it is very important for us, while deciding all these things, we should know that what is the budget with us, establishing the total marketing communications budget. Now you must be thinking that why didn't we put this step at number 1, why we are at number 6? Because we have to understand that if we start limiting ourselves with the budget, then of course we will not be able to achieve what we are supposed to. So if we really wish to achieve our goals, then we have to first identify what is my target market, second is where they are available, by what mode they are willing to get the information, by which mode they are going to accept the information, or they are going to read the information, or understand the information. Then of course accordingly we have to decide the total marketing communication budget. You can't decide it on your own that yes, this is my marketing but total communication budget and I would be communicating from this media only. This privilege we can't have in 21st century marketing. Unfortunately or fortunately, we don't have this privilege to say that I'll be deciding my total marketing communications budget, and this budget is going to be the minimum one, and I can't spend huge amount on advertising or on personal selling. I want the customers to come to my place and have the information about the brand and buy the product on their own, because that we can't do. Even if we are a well established brand, then too we have to remind the customers about the quality which we have been offering to them. So even if your advertisement is supposed to be a reminder oriented one or persuasive one, then too you have to communicate. So one of the most difficult marketing decision which we are going to take here is selecting how much to spend on our marketing communication programs. So what is my total budget? Deciding this is one of the most difficult marketing decision which a marketer has to take. Cause if they become conservative and decide a lesser amount, allocate a lesser budget for their campaign, then of course it is not going to give them the desired result. And if it is on the higher side, then of course it is going to cut their profit, the share of their profit. It will occupy a significant amount of their profit, which no marketer would like to accept or bear with. So they want that cost should be the optimum one, that neither it is too less nor it is too high, it should be at moderate level. And deciding the moderate level is one of the most difficult tasks which a marketer is shouldered with. And if we talk about, there is a very well saying by John Vanmaker, who is actually from the departmental store magnate. He once said that I know that half of my advertising is wasted, but I don't know which half. So this statement is very significant. This plays a very significant role when we try to decide our communication budget. We all know that not every rupee spent on advertising or every dollar spent on advertising is going to give us the result. Some percentage of that budget is going to go waste, but we don't know that which part of that expenditure is going to be wasted, because if we know, we can control, we can contain that, but unfortunately we don't know that. So we have to bear with that, considering it to be a normal loss. That is a normal wastage and normal loss. Like in cost accounting, you must have studied how to calculate normal loss and abnormal loss. So normal loss is something which everybody is ready to bear with, but abnormal loss should not be there, abnormal wastage should not be there. So that is what we have to keep in mind when we are deciding our advertising budgets. So industries and companies, they are actually differing significantly in how much they spend on marketing communications. Your expenditures might be 40 to 45% of sales in Cosmetic industry, if you talk about that industry wherein we are selling cosmetic products, where expenditure might be ranging to the tune of 40 to 45%. But if we talk about the industrial equipment industry, their budget is quite low. They are spending roughly, if we calculate that cost in relation to their sales, that it is roughly 5 to 10% of their sales, because whatever benefit, whatever cost they are supposed to incur, for them it is more important to pass on the benefit to industrial customers, because they are not dealing into mass marketing. They have their own segments, and that communication need to be targeted to that segment only. Because what is the use of showing an industrial equipment to a customer like me who is in search of household products? So, what is the point of me witnessing that advertisement, and what is the point of exhibiting those industrial equipments on television media or in print media, when we have a defined target market for that? So, within a given industry there are low and high spending companies. We can't generalize this, that all cosmetic industries, they are spending roughly 40 to 45% of their sales on expenditure, sales on advertising expenditures. No, even within the given industry there are low and high spending companies. Some people may go a step ahead and they can become a heavy spenders, wherein some of them they play very conservative, that no, we will not be spending 40%, we will also be spending 10 to 15%. So, depending upon the requirement you would decide. Now, the question comes, when I am giving you this kind of statement, that yes, we can't generalize the percentage of sales to be set for deciding the communication budget. And the question comes, how do companies set their communication budget? How to decide it? How to be optimum? So, being optimum is something which is really very difficult for us. We have to understand that what are the limitations or what are the channel cost, because more importantly we should first understand that there are 4 common methods for deciding the communication budget. Any of the methods you can resort to, and after discussing those methods, I will tell you that normally or generally companies are resorting to which method. Like the first method is called the affordable method. The term itself is indicating the affordability. How much can I afford on account of advertising expenditure? That is something which I am going to decide as a company, that what is my margin. So, out of sales, what is my margin percentage? Suppose if my margin percentage is 5% or 3%, then how can I spend 40% of my sales on advertising? So, for me the affordability will come out of the profitability. I will have to carve out that share from my profit only. Somehow I will have to sacrifice. So, either it need to be offloaded, it need to be levied on customers, or I should sacrifice some amount of my profit. So, the affordability is something which is very significant, and it is, you would also realize that it is a method which is well adopted by the marketers across the globe. They all believe in that affordability is something which is really very important, and it is most useful and commonly resorted to method. Then the second is the percentage of sales method, wherein we decide a certain percentage of sales as the benchmark, that yes, I will be spending 5% or 10% of my sales on advertising. So, this is something which we can decide. So, out of these 4 common methods, like the affordable method, the percentage of sales method, we have the competitive parity method also. What my competitors are doing, that also plays a very important role, and the objective and task method. So, these 4 common methods are there in front of us, which I am going to discuss with you, and I will tell you that each of the method has its own pros and cons. If you ask me that whether we should go by the affordability method only, of course, I would say yes, you can go for affordability, or you can go for resorting to the affordable method for deciding your communication budget. But meanwhile, you can't ignore the competitive parity method. What your competitors are doing, that also plays a very significant role, and you can't ignore the objective and task method. So, while discussing about these methods, I will tell you why each one of the methods are significant, and at times you would find that marketers are in one way or the other, they are resorting to each one of the methods for deciding their communication budget. So, with this, my dear learners, I hope you must have understood the basic nuances of how to make your promotion, your communication more effective. The remaining part of this topic I will be discussing with you in the next lecture of mine. Thank you so much.